3, 2, 1. Hello YouTube, Otaku here. Coming back at you again with another video of me reading to you an amazing book by Amanda Knox called Waiting to Be Heard. Alright, we're going to be getting back into it, but before we start, of course, get your equipment, get your eucalyptus, anything else of the sort that you decide to bring apart and joining me in this adventure. Once again, I'm coming back at you again with another great and honest video of my thoughts and opinions while reading to you, and as you can see, enjoying myself along that journey. I have a lot of good and honest, I know I just said that, but it's the same thought that came to my head when I think about the people that I hang out with and their genuality. I can hear the train coming by. With that out of the way, let us begin. Like all other videos, I recommend you have some waters on you. And gosh, I hope that train doesn't blow its horn. Oh, fuck me. I didn't have to worry about the train blowing its horn. I gotta worry about my own damn self blowing a horn. Gosh darn it. I literally just packed that bowl, and within the first cup, this is why we can't have nice things. Ridiculous. Let's not waste too much of these moments in silence. There's a gentleman I recall using that phrasing more times than anybody else I know in my life named Rio. And one of his favorite things to say when he said something outrageous was, ridiculous. So what happened last time? What did Amanda go through? She met Philomena and Meredith. They all combined it together into being roommates. And I believe the last thing I left off was she had just found out she got cold sores on her lip from oral herpes. And that was... Where is the darn book? It's right here. Just make sure things... Yep. Oh wow, there's like whole ass pictures in here. I didn't even realize. So, we get to where we were at. I believe it was page 22? Yeah, because, yeah, the oral herpes is right here. Okay. Water, restroom, whatever you need, because we'll more than likely be taking a break about 3 pages in. Just being honest. Alright, let's do this. Page 23 of Waiting to Be Heard by Amanda Knox. A few days after Deanna and I had gone to Germany, I broke out with a gigantic cold sore on my top lip that Dolly and I figured must have been oral herpes from Cristiano. To my great embarrassment, Dolly had to take me to the pharmacy to find out how to treat it. I couldn't believe this was the first wild thing I'd done in my entire life. Bam! Exclamation point. I'd make an impulsive decision and now I'd have to pay a lifelong consequence. I don't want to be mean to her because surely she's learning as she's growing up, so it's not something that should be ridiculed. I was bummed knowing I am so sorry. I was bummed knowing I had to take medication forever. Even more humiliating was that from here on, I'd have to explain to potential partners that I was a risk. I gave myself a hard time, but after a few days and a lot of conversations with myself, I settled down. I vowed I'd be more careful in the future. I After my luck had changed in finding the villa, I'd had a stroke of bad. I told myself this was the worst thing that happened, and I could deal with it. Good for you. Good for you, Amanda. Chapter 3, September 2007. Perugia, Italy. I met Meredith on September 20th, 2007, and the day I moved into number 7, Villa della Pergola, half Indian, she was exotically beautiful, a Brit majoring in European studies. In the month she'd been in Perugia, she had already become part of the close-knit group of British girls. As she stood in my doorway, chatting while I unpacked, I understood how that happened so fast. She was friendly and game. "Come out with me tonight and meet my friends," she said. "I'll introduce you and all the people and places I've gotten to know in Perugia. You're gonna love it here." End quote. I know what I just said, but that train just passed and it was truly the bane of my reading session right now. I wasn't gonna wait for it either because I'd let you win. The newest and youngest of the 4 roommates, Meredith, and I had a lot in common. So they are the newest and youngest members. It makes sense because she just moved in there and then Meredith moved in after, but I didn't know they were both the youngest. That's pretty cool. We were both children of middle-class divorced parents, and 21. She was just a year ahead of me in school. We'd each push ourselves hard to make it this year in Italy happen. Yeah. Now that I had finally made it, the hours and hours I'd worked in Seattle early in the morning as a Batista. Somebody just skirted their car out in the highway. Late into the night for a local catering company and training a group of soccer girls. Like, I already read that part, so I already knew the soccer girl part was coming up. Team in between seemed unquestionably worthwhile now. Meredith, a long-time Italiophile. What is that, like a Italian pedophile? Anyways, had been crushed when her British university turned her down for the program abroad, but she fought the decision and won. Maybe that's why we both brought once-in-a-lifetime determination to our experience. Talking to her that first day, I was shocked to find how truly little I knew about my new city. I assumed Meredith and I would be classmates at the University for Foreigners, but she was enrolled at the University of Perugia. I couldn't believe I'd been so laser-focused on my own program that I'd overlooked a local college. With a whopping 34,000 students, just 10 minutes walked from our villa. I could have found out all about it if I'd only bothered to do a search on Google. But I had such a brochure image stuck in my head of Perugia as a tranquil, almost monastic place. As it turned out, more than a quarter of the city's populations were students, and while Perugia is more than 2 millennia older and way more picturesque, it's a college town, much like Anna Arbor, Breckley, or Chapel Hill. It was my first day here, and reality had already punctured my expectations. If anything, she's great at analogizing. At dinner, I discovered that Meredith's friend fit the reserved British profile. I'm sure I stuck them as the stereotypical loud American. I was energetic, outspoken, even by nonconformist standards. In Seattle, I was probably louder than I meant to be. While we were sitting around the restaurant table sipping wine and eating pizza together, I started singing some songs that were popular then. But what drew laughs in Seattle got embarrassment looks in Perugia. It hadn't dawned on me that the same quirkiness my friends at home found endearing could actually offend people who were less accepting of differences. A person more attuned to to social norms would probably have realized the immature antics didn't play well here. So I was glad I could hang out with Laura, Philomena, and Meredith at home. Okay. You know, we all grow up at our own pace. Sometimes it happens in different angles you may not see. She's all the way across the fucking world from her parents, and what is she doing? She's singing loud in a restaurant with a group of people she just barely met. Yeah, there's a contradiction right there, but at the same time, it makes sense. It makes sense to why she's even going there now, because she's singing songs in front of a group of strangers. And she's figuring it out. It's amazing. Though the Cristiano part could, been a tad bit placed better. Like, shoot, girl, you really got that. You really got that from that guy. I'm not judging you. It's just, it just blows my mind. Sorry, I had to take care of something. Even though Meredith was definitely more mainstream and demure than I'd ever be, and Laura and Philomena were older and more sophisticated, I felt comfortable in their company. They seemed to accept me for me right at the start. During my first month at Perugia, I spent more time with Meredith than anyone else. I liked her a lot, and she seemed to enjoy being with me. I could already see us keeping in touch by email when our year abroad was over. Maybe we'd even end up visiting each other in our hometowns. Now that would be the dream. Speaking of visiting friends in hometowns, I'm going to be able to do that next month, and I'm extremely excited for that. I'm always concerned about something bad happening, but as far as I'm concerned right now, as long as I keep my head on straight and keep doing the right thing, it should be alright. Alright, let's continue. The University of Perugia started earlier than the University for Foreigners, so Meredith was in class on my first full day living in Perugia. Okay, like, a little weird comparison, but whatever you say. I went exploring alone, stopping at the only place that was familiar, a small cafe where Diana and I had eaten all of our meals in late August. I decided to go and say hi to the tall, balding, good-humored Batista, who figured out our ridiculous espresso plus milk plus chocolate mixture. I couldn't remember his name, but when we arrived knowing no one, you're grateful for any friendly acquaintance. It turned out, however, that he'd move on. His replacement was an athletic guy about my age named Marco. He had black hair, blue eyes, and a huge grin. I told him I was new in town, a student. He said he was more into work than study. By the time I left for home today, I had sliming inklings of a crush. I don't know why I said sliming. The slimmest inklings of a crush. But good for you, Amanda. This is a part of this is a part of that growth you hear so much about. Let's see. During the lull before my semester began, I dropped by the cafe several afternoons for a cafe macchiato, or a glass of wine. I definitely didn't say that right. Macchiato. There we go. I'm gonna read that again, just bear with me, please. During the lull before my semester began, I dropped by the cafe several afternoons for a cafe macchiato, or a glass of white wine. and a little flirting. After my oral cold sore inducing makeout session with Cristiano, this was sweet and innocent. Girl, you got problems. I don't know what yet, but we're gonna find out together. My new favorite pastime was the old Italian custom of long, relaxed lunches at home. Meredith and I, with Laura and Philomena, who changed from skirt suits into cutoffs and flipped on the TV, their soap operas were just background noise for me. I'm not a TV person at all, much less a soap opera fan, but I thought it was funny that the dialogue in there sounded exactly the same as any American soap opera. Understanding about one word in 5, I could still follow what was happening. You slept with who? Let's run away together. Soap operas, I learned, are another universal language. When Philomena and Laura went back to work, Meredith and I would sunbathe on the terrace and talk. She read mysteries, and I was teaching myself to play Beatles songs on the guitar. One day, she said it reminded her of when she and her older sister used to turn their CD player way up and sing along. Okay, so they're like bonding. They're having their having that roommate ritual thing that goes on whenever you're just trying to get familiar living with people that you've never been with before. I had that too a couple times. There was, as crazy as it was, moments I've actually had with some pretty bad people that weren't half bad in themselves. And it's really jarring to sit there and fond about any of those good moments when you know the natural conclusion of what happened through all that, but you just can't deny that there was once or twice a moment that there was absolute bliss and some hells. It was without a doubt a good moment. In all the sense of the word, people come together in harmony despite all their negativities. Oh yeah. We're sky high, people. Like that Disney movie, Sky High. Alright. Here we go. Let's do this. I loved our easy togetherness. We told each other about life back home and what we were thinking about doing after we graduated. She said she might want to become a journalist, like her dad. She lended me clothes. Her feminine look was more into keeping with Perugia than my old jeans and boys' t-shirts. And she helped me with my Italian grammar. Before beginning classes at the University of Perugia, Meredith had taken a crash course at the University of Foreigners. To brush up on her language skills, I introduced her to new music and listened to her stories about her family, especially her mom, whose bad health worried Meredith so much that she didn't go to the corner baguette without her British cell phone in her pocket. I told her about my parents and step-parents. The dad had been with Cassandra since I was little, and mom had met her husband Chris when I was 10. That's pretty cool. You know, they're sharing little moments together. It's just but I never got personal with these people. I never talked about my family and stuff with them. I just simply spoke about my being. Not so much my upbringing, was more my intellect and knowledge gathering. Less experience and personal moment. Her, she's more power to you, dude. You tell this woman about your family and you listen to her about hers, and I've done that too. It's like a double-edged sword of especially for somebody who's empathetic, you will be there for the people who, and that's just the worst, because you know so many bad people are gonna sit there and play that card. Oh yeah, let me spill to you my sob story so we can feel like we're close. And we did what all girls do. We talked about the guys we liked in Perugia and the ones we left behind. I told her about my growing crush on Marco and about my ex-boyfriend from Seattle, DJ. DJ and I were together for 8 months, I said. We broke up because I was coming here and he was going to China for the year. We're still friends, though. What's he like? ? Meredith asked. Completely eccentric, she said. He has a mohawk, wears this shabby red kilt, and goes everywhere barefooted, except when he goes climbing. Then, I promise, he wears shorts and shoes. Meredith laughed. He sounds like your type. Do you think you'll ever get back together? ? I can't tell, I said. What about you? ? Do you have a boyfriend? ? I dated a guy pretty seriously, Meredith said. We were together for a few months. I had real feelings for him, but I'm too young to get serious. I still have 2 more years of university. We broke up right before I came to Italy. Well, you don't want to feel weighed down by decisions while you're figuring life out. We encouraged ourselves with affirming smiles and cheap local red wine clinks. Alright, that is the epitome of a female conversation right there. It makes more sense as life goes on. I have about 8 more minutes till this. No, let's give it 3. I'll do 25 minutes of this. We did pretty good. Next time I promise it'll be more, because I know how much you want me as much as possible in this video. Any video. So, next time, I promise, I'll make it a longer session. Where was I? Yeah. Meredith and I did a lot of routine things together, like walking to the grocery store and going to the rental office. She asked me to snap photos of her standing in front of the picture windows in her bedroom. I want my family to see my view, she said. One afternoon when I discovered a vintage clothing shop downtown, I was so excited that I went home and immediately brought Meredith back with me. That sort of thing I usually do with Brett or Madison. I remember those two, Brett or Madison. Didn't Brett give her like a pink vibrator or some shit? Alright, let's continue. I still got about like a good minute and a half. These clothes are definitely more offbeat than what I'm used to, Meredith said. But they're awesome. She tried on a few things, coming out of the dressing room to model each other and discuss all the things she could wear. She brought a sparkly silver vintage dress she said she'd wear for New Year's Eve in London. It makes sense that Meredith and I were closer to each other than the other flatmates. We were both trying to learn a city and a language we didn't know. Philomena and Laura were longtime friends, older, finished with college and Italian already. To them, Perugia was the same old, same old. That's crazy. It's like 2 worlds colliding. While I waited for the semester to start, I tried to read in Italian and test new vocabularies wherever I could. One day, I went to the Coop, a supermarket in the Piazza Mattiero, gathered some groceries, and went to the register to pay. Basta? ? The cashier asked me. With that out of the way, we're going to just cut it right there at page 30 of Amanda Knox's Waiting to Be Heard, a memoir, a New York Times bestseller. Thank you so much for being here. If you stuck along this end, I'd just like to say one more thing, that I love you. Y'all have a good day. Good night. Peace.